Before the superheroes took flight, before the capes and cowls became cultural icons, there was a burgeoning world of pulp magazines and newspaper comic strips. The early 20th century saw the rise of illustrated stories that captivated readers of all ages. These tales of daring adventurers, detectives, and fantastical realms laid the groundwork for what was to come. In the 1930s, as the Great Depression gripped the world, people sought escapism in any form they could find. Comic books emerged as an affordable and accessible means of entertainment. Pioneers like Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, Bob Kane and Bill Finger, and many others began to dream up characters who could not only entertain but inspire hope and resilience. The comic book stands became a staple in newsagents, with colorful covers promising thrilling adventures within. It was in this fertile ground that the seeds of Marvel and DC were planted, ready to sprout into the titans we know today. Join us as we delve into the origins of this cultural phenomenon. From the humble beginnings of comic strips to the dawn of the superhero era, this is the genesis of comic book culture. As the world grappled with war and economic hardship, a new dawn was breaking in the realm of storytelling. The golden age of comics, spanning from the late 1930s to the early 1950s, was a period marked by innovation and the birth of the superhero genre. With the introduction of Superman in Action Comics #1, an icon was born. This caped hero, embodying truth, justice, and the American way, became an instant sensation, igniting the imaginations of young and old alike. This era wasn't just about Superman though, it was a time when the foundations of an entire industry were being laid. Batman, Wonder Woman, Captain America, and many more leapt from the pages, each bringing their unique brand of heroism to a world in need of hope. These characters were more than just ink on paper. They were symbols of resilience, courage, and the fight for a better tomorrow. The Golden Age was also a period of experimentation. Creators pushed the boundaries of what was possible in illustrated storytelling. They explored complex themes from social justice to the human condition, all wrapped in the colorful, action-packed panels of comic books. Publishers thrived, and the comic book stand became a beloved fixture in communities across the globe. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. The industry faced challenges, from wartime paper shortages to the rise of censorship in the 1950s. Yet, through it all, the spirit of creativity and innovation endured. So, as we turn the page to the next chapter, let's take a moment to appreciate this golden era. A time when heroes were born, and the seeds of a cultural revolution were sown. Welcome to the Golden Age of Comics, where a new dawn of storytelling began. As the Golden Age of Comics began to wane, a new era was on the horizon, the Silver Age of Comics. This period, spanning from the mid-1950s to the early 1970s, was a time of reinvention and revitalization. The industry was at a crossroads, with declining sales and increasing scrutiny from censorship bodies like the Comics Code Authority. Yet, out of these challenges emerged a renaissance that would redefine the medium. The Silver Age ignited with the rebirth of iconic characters and the introduction of new ones who would become legends in their own right. DC Comics led the charge with the revival of The Flash in 1956, a character whose success paved the way for the reimagining of other Golden Age heroes. Green Lantern, Hawkman, and the Justice League of America soon followed, each bringing fresh perspectives and modern sensibilities to classic archetypes. Not to be outdone, Marvel Comics, under the innovative leadership of Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, and Steve Ditko, launched a new wave of superheroes that resonated deeply with readers. The Fantastic Four debuted in 1961, marking the beginning of a creative explosion. Spider-Man swung onto the scene in 1962, capturing the hearts of fans with his relatable struggles and everyman persona. The X-Men, the Avengers, and the Incredible Hulk soon joined the fray, each adding layers of complexity to the burgeoning Marvel universe. The Silver Age was characterized by its dynamic storytelling and the introduction of more nuanced, flawed characters. Heroes were no longer infallible gods, they were individuals grappling with personal issues, societal challenges, and moral dilemmas. This era also saw the rise of science fiction themes, reflecting the public's fascination with space exploration and technological advancement. The artistic styles of the Silver Age were equally transformative. Bright, vivid colors and bold, dynamic layouts became the norm, drawing readers into fantastical worlds filled with adventure and intrigue. Artists like Carmine Infantino, John Romita Sr., and Neil Adams pushed the boundaries of visual storytelling, setting new standards for the industry. So as we journey through the annals of comic book history, let's pause to celebrate the Silver Age, a time of innovation, reinvention, and the birth of modern superheroes. This was an era when imagination knew no bounds, and the seeds of a cultural phenomenon were sown, ready to blossom into the legends we cherish today. As the Silver Age of comics began to wind down, the industry found itself on the cusp of yet another transformation, the Bronze Age of comics. Spanning from the early 1970s to the mid-1980s, this era was marked by a shift towards more mature themes and complex storytelling. It was a time when the superhero genre began to reflect the changing social and political landscape of the world. The Bronze Age saw the introduction of more diverse characters and the tackling of real-world issues such as drug abuse, racism, and environmental concerns. Comics were no longer just escapist fantasies, they became mirrors reflecting the struggles and hopes of society. DC Comics took bold steps with storylines like Green Lantern, Green Arrow, Hard-Traveling Heroes, which addressed issues of social justice and inequality. Marvel Comics followed suit with groundbreaking series like The Amazing Spider-Man, which famously tackled the issue of drug addiction in a storyline that defied the Comics Code authority. This period also saw the rise of anti-heroes and darker, more morally ambiguous characters. The Punisher, Wolverine, and Ghost Rider emerged as figures who blurred the lines between hero and vigilante, challenging traditional notions of heroism. These characters resonated with readers who were increasingly drawn to more complex, flawed protagonists. The artistic style of the Bronze Age also evolved, with a greater emphasis on realism and intricate detail. Artists like Neil Adams, Jim Starlin, and John Byrne brought a new level of sophistication to comic book art, pushing the boundaries of what the medium could achieve. Their work not only captivated readers, but also set new standards for future generations of artists. As we delve into the Bronze Age, we witness a period of experimentation and growth, where the seeds of modern comic book storytelling were sown. This was an era that expanded the horizons of what comic books could be, paving the way for the diverse and richly textured narratives we enjoy today. So, let's turn the page to the next chapter in our journey through the history of comic books, the Bronze Age Awakening. As the Bronze Age of comics drew to a close, another revolution was quietly brewing on the fringes of the comic book world. Enter the Indie Renaissance, a period where independent comic book publishers began to make their mark, challenging the dominance of the industry giants, Marvel and DC. This era, spanning from the late 1980s to the early 2000s, brought fresh voices and innovative storytelling into the spotlight. Indie publishers like Image Comics, Dark Horse, and Valiant emerged as formidable players, offering creators a platform to tell stories that were often more personal, experimental, and diverse. The formation of Image Comics in 1992 by a group of high-profile artists and writers, including Todd McFarlane, Jim Lee, and Rob Liefeld, was a landmark moment. They sought creative control and ownership of their work, a stark contrast to the work-for-hire model prevalent at the time. Titles like Spawn, The Walking Dead, and Hellboy captivated readers with their unique narratives and striking artwork. These comics explored themes and genres that mainstream superhero comics rarely touched, from horror and science fiction to gritty crime dramas and deeply personal tales. The success of these indie titles demonstrated that there was a hunger for diverse and unconventional stories. The indie renaissance also fostered a more inclusive and varied representation in comics. Creators from different backgrounds and identities brought their perspectives to the medium, enriching the tapestry of comic book storytelling. Characters and stories that resonated with a broader audience began to emerge, reflecting the world's diversity more authentically. This period was not just about new publishers and titles. It was about breaking free from the constraints of traditional comic book storytelling. The indie renaissance paved the way for a more open and dynamic industry, where creativity and innovation could flourish. As we turn the page to this transformative chapter, we celebrate the indie spirit that continues to inspire and shape the world of comics today. Let's delve into the indie renaissance, a time of bold experimentation and boundless creativity that redefined the possibilities of the comic book medium. As the indie renaissance breathed new life into the comic book industry, another transformative wave was on the horizon: the digital revolution. With the dawn of the internet and advanced technology in the late 20th and early 21st centuries, the way we consumed media began to change dramatically, and comic books were no exception. Gone were the days when comic aficionados had to rely solely on their local comic shops to get their fix. Digital platforms like Comixology, Webtoon, and Marvel Unlimited emerged, offering readers instant access to thousands of titles with just a few clicks. This shift not only made comics more accessible but also opened up new avenues for creators to reach global audiences without the need for traditional publishing houses. Webcomics became a sensation, providing a platform for undiscovered talent to showcase their work. Creators like Randall Munroe with XCCD and Sarah Anderson with Sarah's Scribbles found massive followings online, proving that digital comics could be just as impactful and popular as their print counterparts. Moreover, the digital space allowed for innovative storytelling techniques. Motion comics, interactive narratives, and augmented reality features began to blur the lines between comic books and other forms of media. The potential for creativity seemed boundless, as artists and writers explored new ways to engage their audience. The digital revolution also brought about a significant change in the way comics were funded. Crowdfunding platforms like Kickstarter and Indiegogo enabled creators to bring their visions to life directly through the support of fans. This democratization of the publishing process meant that more diverse and unique stories could find their way into the hands of readers. As we navigate through this digital era, it's clear that the comic book industry is continually evolving. The digital revolution has not only expanded the reach of comics, but has also fostered a more inclusive and innovative landscape. This chapter in comic book history is a testament to the adaptability and enduring appeal of the medium. Let's explore the digital revolution, a period of unprecedented change and limitless possibilities that continues to shape the future of comic book storytelling. As the comic book industry continued to evolve, the 1980s and 1990s saw the emergence of a new format that would forever change the way we perceive comics: the graphic novel. Unlike traditional comic books, which typically featured serialized stories in short, episodic issues, graphic novels offered a more expansive and cohesive narrative experience. Pioneering this movement was Art Spiegelman's Mouse, a groundbreaking work that used the medium to tell a deeply personal and harrowing tale of the Holocaust. Winning the Pulitzer Prize in 1992, Mouse demonstrated that comics could tackle complex, mature themes with the same depth and seriousness as any other literary form. Around the same time, Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons' Watchmen and Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns redefined the superhero genre, presenting darker, more psychologically complex characters and storylines. These works not only captivated readers, but also garnered critical acclaim, proving that graphic novels could be both commercially successful and artistically significant. The rise of graphic novels also provided a platform for more diverse voices and stories. Marjane Satrapi's Persepolis, a memoir of growing up during the Iranian Revolution, and Alison Bechdel's Fun Home, an exploration of identity and family, showcased the versatility of the medium. These works resonated with readers across the globe, further solidifying the graphic novel's place in the literary world. As we delve into the rise of graphic novels, we see how this format has pushed the boundaries of storytelling, offering richer, more nuanced narratives that continue to captivate and inspire. From tackling historical events to exploring personal journeys, graphic novels have elevated the comic book medium to new heights, making it a powerful tool for both entertainment and education. Let's explore the rise of graphic novels, a transformative chapter that has expanded the horizons of comic book storytelling and brought it into the literary mainstream. As mainstream comic books and graphic novels gained traction, an equally important yet often overlooked revolution was brewing beneath the surface: the underground comics movement. Emerging in the late 1960s and peaking in the 1970s, underground comics, or comics, offered a raw, unfiltered lens into the counterculture of the time. Unlike their mainstream counterparts, these works were often self-published and distributed through non-traditional channels, such as head shops and alternative bookstores. One of the most influential figures in this movement was Robert Crumb, whose Zap Comics became a cornerstone of underground culture. Crumb's work, characterized by its satirical and often controversial content, pushed the boundaries of what comics could discuss, tackling taboo subjects like politics, sexuality, and drug use. His distinctive, highly detailed art style and irreverent humor resonated with a generation disillusioned by the status quo. The underground movement also provided a platform for other groundbreaking creators. Trina Robbins, one of the first female underground cartoonists, used the medium to address feminist issues, paving the way for more inclusive storytelling. Spain Rodriguez's Trashman and Gilbert Shelton's The Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers further exemplified the diversity and rebellious spirit of the era. Underground comics were more than just a reaction to mainstream comics. They were a cultural phenomenon that captured the zeitgeist of a turbulent period. By challenging societal norms and exploring themes that mainstream comics shied away from, they expanded the scope of what comic books could achieve. This movement laid the groundwork for future generations of indie creators, proving that comics could be a powerful medium for personal expression and social commentary. As we delve into the underground movement, we uncover a hidden chapter in the history of comics, a chapter that dared to defy convention and push the boundaries of creativity. This is the story of how underground comics changed the game, forever altering the landscape of comic book storytelling. While the underground movement was making waves in the United States, another significant transformation was quietly unfolding on a global scale. The world of comic books was beginning to transcend borders and cultures, evolving into a truly international phenomenon. This global expansion not only diversified the medium but also brought unique cultural perspectives to the forefront of comic book storytelling. European comics, or bande dessinée, had long been a staple in countries like France and Belgium. Iconic series such as Tintin by Hergé and Asterix by René Goscinny and Albert Uderzo captured the imaginations of readers with their intricate plots and rich, detailed art. These works often tackled historical and social themes, providing a different flavor compared to their American counterparts. Meanwhile, in Japan, manga was becoming a cultural juggernaut. Pioneering creators like Osamu Tezuka, often referred to as the god of manga, revolutionized the medium with works such as Astro Boy and Blackjack. Manga's distinctive style and diverse genres, from action-packed shonen to emotionally complex shoujo, appealed to readers of all ages, establishing it as a dominant force in global pop culture. As comic books crossed borders, they began to influence and inspire creators worldwide. The cross-pollination of ideas led to a richer, more diverse comic book landscape. British writers such as Alan Moore and Neil Gaiman brought a darker, more philosophical approach to American comics, with groundbreaking works like Watchmen and The Sandman. The global expansion of comic books also paved the way for international collaborations and adaptations. Characters and stories that originated in one part of the world found new life in different cultures, proving that the language of comics is truly universal. In this scene, we explore how the global expansion of comic books enriched the medium, introducing new styles, themes, and perspectives. This is the story of how comics became a global language, uniting readers and creators from all corners of the world. The golden age of comics, spanning from the late 1930s to the early 1950s, was a period of unprecedented creativity and innovation. It was during this era that the superhero genre truly took flight, capturing the hearts and imaginations of readers young and old. It all began with the debut of Superman in Action Comics #1 in 1938. Created by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, Superman was the first superhero to possess extraordinary powers, a secret identity, and a mission to fight for truth and justice. The Man of Steel's success paved the way for a plethora of other iconic characters. Hot on Superman's heels came Batman in 1939, introduced in Detective Comics #27 by Bob Kane and Bill Finger. Unlike Superman, Batman was a mortal man, relying on his intellect, physical prowess, and an array of gadgets. The Dark Knight's blend of mystery and adventure added a new dimension to the superhero genre. The Golden Age also saw the emergence of Wonder Woman, Captain America, and a host of other heroes who would become cultural icons. These characters were often depicted battling the forces of evil, reflecting the real-world struggles of the time, including the fight against fascism during World War II. Comic books during this period were not limited to superheroes. Genres like science fiction, horror, crime, and romance flourished, offering readers a diverse array of stories and characters. Publishers like Timely Comics, Fawcett Comics, and Quality Comics contributed to the rich tapestry of the Golden Age. This era also marked the rise of the comic book industry as a significant cultural force. Newsstands across America were stocked with colorful covers that beckoned readers to dive into fantastical worlds. The Golden Age established comic books as a beloved form of entertainment, laying the foundation for the medium's future growth and evolution. In this scene, we journey back to the Golden Age of comics, a time of boundless creativity and the birth of legendary heroes. This is the story of how comic books became a cornerstone of popular culture, setting the stage for the epic tales that would follow. Imagine a world without superheroes. Hard to fathom, isn't it? Yet there was a time when the pages of comic books were devoid of the legendary figures we now hold dear. The birth of Marvel and DC marked the dawn of a new era, one that would forever change the landscape of storytelling. It all began in the late 1930s and early 1940s, a period often referred to as the Golden Age of comics. DC, then known as National Allied Publications, introduced the world to Superman in 1938, a character who would become the archetype for all superheroes to follow. Just a year later, Batman swooped in, bringing with him a darker, grittier vibe that added depth to the genre. Marvel, originally Timely Publications, made its grand entrance in 1939 with the debut of the Human Torch and Namor the Submariner. However, it wasn't until the 1960s that Marvel, under the visionary guidance of Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, and Steve Ditko, would introduce a new wave of heroes like Spider-Man, the X-Men, and the Fantastic Four. These early years set the stage for an epic rivalry, as each company sought to outdo the other with ever more complex characters and intricate storylines. The seeds were planted for a cultural phenomenon that would span decades and captivate millions. So, let's journey back to where it all began, to the birth of two titans who would go on to become the cornerstones of modern mythology. This is the origin story of Marvel and DC. As the 1940s gave way to the 1950s, both Marvel and DC began to expand their rosters with characters who would become household names. DC continued to build on its success with Superman and Batman by introducing Wonder Woman, The Flash, and Green Lantern. Each hero brought something unique to the table: Wonder Woman with her Amazonian strength and wisdom, The Flash with his super speed, and Green Lantern with his power ring that could manifest anything he imagined. Marvel, on the other hand, was on the brink of a revolution. The 1960s saw the birth of Marvel's most iconic characters, thanks to the creative genius of Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, and Steve Ditko. Spider-Man swung into action, capturing the hearts of readers with his relatable struggles and witty humor. The Fantastic Four brought a sense of family and adventure, while the X-Men introduced a diverse group of mutants who fought for acceptance in a world that feared and hated them. These characters weren't just heroes, they were icons. They reflected the hopes, dreams, and fears of the times, making them more than just figures on a page. They became symbols of justice, courage, and the human spirit. As Marvel and DC continued to create and innovate, their characters began to transcend the comic book pages, becoming cultural phenomena in their own right. This was the rise of the iconic characters who would define an era and leave an indelible mark on the world of storytelling. Villains. They are the dark mirrors of our heroes, the forces of chaos to their order. As Marvel and DC crafted their iconic heroes, they also gave birth to some of the most memorable villains in comic book history. For DC, the Joker emerged as Batman's arch-nemesis, embodying pure anarchy and madness. Lex Luthor, with his genius intellect and insatiable ambition, became Superman's greatest adversary. These villains challenged our heroes, pushing them to their limits and forcing them to confront their deepest fears. Marvel too crafted a rogues gallery that would stand the test of time. The cunning and ruthless Dr. Doom became the archenemy of the Fantastic Four, while Magneto, with his complex ideology and tragic backstory, stood as a formidable foe to the X-Men. And who could forget the Green Goblin, whose personal vendetta against Spider-Man took their rivalry to terrifying heights. These villains were more than just obstacles for our heroes to overcome. They were fully realized characters with motivations, desires, and flaws. They reflected the darker aspects of humanity, making the stories richer and more compelling. As the heroes evolved, so did their nemeses, creating an ever-escalating battle between good and evil. In the world of comic books, a hero is only as good as their villain. And Marvel and DC have given us some of the best. These antagonists continue to captivate audiences, reminding us that even in the darkest of times, heroes will rise to face the challenge. The art of storytelling. At the heart of both Marvel and DC lies a powerful narrative engine, one that has been finely tuned over decades to captivate readers and viewers alike. The way these two giants craft their stories is a testament to their mastery of the art form. Marvel's strength has always been its focus on relatable characters and real-world issues. From Spider-Man's struggles with everyday life to the X-Men's allegories for social justice, Marvel's stories resonate on a deeply personal level. Their heroes are flawed, facing dilemmas that mirror our own, making their triumphs all the more satisfying. On the other hand, DC often leans into grand mythic storytelling. Their heroes are larger-than-life figures embodying ideals and principles that transcend the mundane. Superman, the beacon of hope; Batman, the relentless crusader for justice; Wonder Woman, the warrior for peace. These characters operate on an epic scale, their stories often feeling like modern-day myths or legends. But it's not just the heroes who benefit from this storytelling prowess. The narratives that weave through these universes are rich with themes of morality, identity, and the human condition. Whether it's the cosmic battles of the Green Lantern Corps or the street-level grit of Daredevil, the stories told by Marvel and DC are layered, complex, and endlessly engaging. As we delve deeper into the realms of these two titans, we'll uncover the secrets behind their storytelling magic. What makes a Marvel story distinctly Marvel? How does DC create its unique sense of wonder and awe? Join us as we explore the art of storytelling in the worlds of Marvel and DC. Crossovers. The very word sends shivers down the spines of comic book enthusiasts. It's where the boundaries blur, and heroes from different corners of their respective universes come together to face monumental threats. Both Marvel and DC have mastered the art of the crossover, creating events that are nothing short of legendary. Marvel's Civil War is a prime example. This storyline pitted hero against hero, forcing characters to choose sides in a battle over civil liberties and government oversight. The stakes were personal, the consequences far-reaching. Readers were left grappling with moral dilemmas, much like the heroes themselves. DC's Crisis on Infinite Earths is another iconic crossover. This event reshaped the entire DC universe, merging multiple realities into one cohesive world. Heroes and villains from different timelines and dimensions united to combat a cosmic threat. The narrative was grand, the scope immense, and the impact everlasting. But crossovers are more than epic battles and spectacular visuals. They bring characters together in ways that enrich the storytelling tapestry. They allow for character development, unexpected alliances, and emotional depth. Whether it's the Avengers assembling to face Thanos, or the Justice League uniting to thwart Darkseid, crossovers are a testament to the boundless creativity of these universes. As we delve into the world of crossovers, we'll uncover how these events have shaped the Marvel and DC landscapes, forever altering the destinies of their characters. Join us as we explore the impact of crossovers in the epic tales of Marvel and DC. The eternal rivalry. Who will reign supreme, Marvel or DC? It's a question that has sparked countless debates among comic book fans. Each universe boasts iconic heroes, compelling stories, and a rich history. But which one reigns supreme? The answer, my friends, is not so simple. It's like comparing apples and oranges. Both offer unique flavors and experiences that have captivated generations. This epic rivalry has only intensified over the years, fueled by blockbuster movies, passionate fans, and a steady stream of new comics. From the silver screen to the printed page, Marvel and DC continue to shape the landscape of pop culture. So, buckle up as we dive into the epic showdown between these two titans of the comic book industry. Get ready to explore their origins, their heroes, their stories, and the unwavering devotion of their fans. This is Marvel vs. DC, the ultimate showdown. From humble beginnings to comic book giants, both Marvel and DC have come a long way from their humble beginnings. DC, originally National Allied Publications, emerged in the 1930s. They introduced the world to Superman, the archetype of the superhero. His arrival in Action Comics #1 marked a turning point in comic book history. Marvel, then known as Timely Comics, followed suit in the late 1930s. They found their footing during the golden age of comics with characters like the Human Torch and Captain America. These early heroes captured the imagination of readers, setting the stage for the company's enduring success. Over the decades, both companies evolved. They faced challenges and embraced innovation, constantly reinventing themselves and their characters. This constant evolution has been key to their longevity and continued relevance in the ever-changing world of entertainment. Icons among us, the enduring appeal of superheroes. At the heart of the Marvel and DC universes lie their iconic characters. These heroes and villains have become cultural touchstones, inspiring generations with their extraordinary abilities and compelling stories. Marvel gave us the web-slinging Spider-Man, the genius billionaire Iron Man, and the Incredible Hulk. These characters, flawed and relatable, resonated with readers on a personal level. DC, on the other hand, presented us with the ultimate symbols of hope and justice, Superman and Batman. These characters transcended the pages of comics to become cultural icons. These iconic characters, along with a vast roster of supporting heroes and villains, have fueled countless stories. They have taught us about responsibility, courage, and the importance of fighting for what's right, even when the odds are stacked against us. Section 4, A Tale of Two Cities, Grounded Heroes vs. Mythic Gods. While both Marvel and DC share a common superhero DNA, their storytelling approaches differ significantly. Marvel has often been praised for its more grounded, realistic approach. Their stories often unfold in real-world settings, tackling social issues and exploring the complexities of human nature. Think of Spider-Man dealing with bullies or the X-Men facing discrimination. DC, in contrast, embraces a more mythic, operatic style. Their stories often feature godlike beings grappling with cosmic threats and epic battles that reshape reality itself. Superman battling Brainiac for the fate of Metropolis or Wonder Woman defending Themyscira from Ares exemplify this grand scale. These contrasting approaches stem from the company's respective origins and the visions of their creators. Stan Lee, the legendary architect of the Marvel Universe, sought to make his heroes relatable, flawed individuals facing everyday problems. DC's pantheon of heroes, shaped by creators like Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, often embodied larger-than-life ideals and archetypes. Section 5. Lights, Camera, Action, bringing the universes to life. The rivalry between Marvel and DC extends far beyond the printed page. Both companies have made their mark on the big screen, captivating audiences worldwide with their cinematic universes. Marvel's approach, spearheaded by yours truly, has been defined by interconnected storytelling. Starting with Iron Man in 2008, each film has built upon the last, culminating in massive crossover events like the Avengers and Avengers Endgame. This carefully crafted continuity has kept fans on the edge of their seats, eager to see how each new chapter unfolds. DC, meanwhile, has taken a more standalone approach, with films like the Dark Knight trilogy and Wonder Woman garnering critical acclaim for their darker, more grounded tone. While DC has dabbled in interconnected storytelling with the DCEU, their focus has remained on delivering individual, impactful stories. The cinematic clash between Marvel and DC has only intensified the rivalry, drawing in new generations of fans and solidifying their places in pop culture history. As the 21st century dawned, a new era for comic book movies began. The early 2000s saw the rise of superhero cinema, with films like X-Men and Spider-Man proving that comic book adaptations could be both commercially successful and critically acclaimed. These early successes paved the way for a flood of superhero films that would come to dominate the box office. In 2008, Marvel Studios changed the game with the release of Iron Man, introducing the concept of a shared cinematic universe. This groundbreaking approach led to the creation of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, a meticulously planned series of interconnected films that culminated in the epic crossover event, The Avengers, in 2012. The MCU's success redefined the superhero genre, setting new standards for storytelling and character development. Meanwhile, DC Comics was also making its mark on the big screen. Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight trilogy, beginning with Batman Begins in 2005, offered a darker, more realistic take on the superhero genre. The trilogy's critical and commercial success demonstrated that comic book movies could be serious, thought-provoking, and deeply impactful. The 2010s saw an explosion of comic book adaptations, with both Marvel and DC expanding their cinematic universes. Marvel continued to innovate with films like Guardians of the Galaxy and Black Panther, which broke new ground in terms of diversity and representation. DC, on the other hand, launched the DC Extended Universe with films like Man of Steel and Wonder Woman, striving to create a cohesive cinematic world while maintaining a unique standalone feel for each film. As we move further into the 21st century, the evolution of comic book movies shows no signs of slowing down, with streaming platforms like Disney Plus and HBO Max offering new avenues for storytelling. The The possibilities for superhero cinema are endless. From epic team-ups to intimate character studies, the future of comic book movies promises to be as diverse and dynamic as the heroes and villains that inspire them. The evolution of comic book movies in the 21st century is a testament to the enduring appeal of these beloved characters and stories. As filmmakers continue to push the boundaries of what is possible, one thing is certain: the age of superhero cinema is here to stay. Comic books have transcended their humble origins to become a cornerstone of modern pop culture. The colorful pages of superheroes and fantastical worlds have left an indelible mark on various forms of media, from television and film to fashion and music. As we delve into the influence of comic books on contemporary culture, we uncover a rich tapestry of creativity and inspiration that shapes our everyday lives. The impact of comic books on television is undeniable. Animated series such as Batman, the animated series, and X-Men, the animated series brought beloved characters to life, captivating audiences of all ages. These shows not only entertained, but also explored complex themes, proving that comic book stories could be both thought-provoking and emotionally resonant. Today, live-action adaptations like Arrow, The Flash, and The Umbrella Academy continue to draw millions of viewers, cementing the genre's place in mainstream entertainment. Fashion, too, has felt the influence of comic books. Iconic costumes and character designs have inspired countless clothing lines and collaborations. From high-fashion runways to streetwear, the vibrant aesthetics of comic book art have permeated the world of fashion. Superheroes like Wonder Woman and Black Panther have become symbols of empowerment, their imagery adorning everything from t-shirts to high-end couture. The music industry has also embraced the comic book culture. Artists like Eminem and MF Doom have incorporated comic book references into their lyrics and personas, creating a unique fusion of music and storytelling. Music videos featuring superhero themes and collaborations with comic book artists have further solidified the genre's influence on popular music. Comic books have also played a significant role in shaping video games. Titles like the Batman Arkham series and Marvel's Spider-Man have set new standards for storytelling and gameplay, immersing players in richly detailed worlds where they can embody their favorite heroes. These games have not only entertained but also pushed the boundaries of interactive storytelling, proving that comic book narratives can thrive in the digital realm. The influence of comic books extends beyond entertainment and into the realm of social commentary. Graphic novels like Mouse and Persepolis have tackled heavy subjects such as war, identity, and human rights, using the medium to spark important conversations. These works have demonstrated the power of comic books to address real-world issues and inspire change. As we look at the influence of comic books on modern pop culture, it is clear that these stories and characters have become much more than mere entertainment. They are a source of inspiration, creativity, and reflection, shaping the way we see the world and ourselves. The legacy of comic books continues to grow, and their impact on pop culture is a testament to the enduring power of storytelling. As the 21st century progressed, a new phenomenon emerged on our television screens: the rise of superhero TV shows. These series brought the dynamic worlds of comic books into our living rooms, captivating audiences and redefining the landscape of modern television. From the early days of Smallville, which chronicled the teenage years of Clark Kent, to the gritty realism of Daredevil, superhero TV shows have evolved dramatically. Smallville paved the way, showing that the origin stories of iconic characters could be explored in depth over multiple seasons. Its success was a harbinger of things to come, as networks and streaming services realized the potential of these narratives. The advent of the Arrowverse, beginning with Arrow in 2012, marked a significant turning point. The interconnected universe of shows, including The Flash, Supergirl, and Legends of Tomorrow, created a rich tapestry of characters and storylines that delighted fans. Crossovers became highly anticipated events, drawing millions of viewers and fostering a sense of community among fans. Another milestone was the collaboration between Marvel and Netflix, which produced critically acclaimed series such as Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and The Punisher. These shows delved into darker, more mature themes, proving that superhero stories could tackle complex social issues and character-driven narratives. The success of these series demonstrated that there was a hunger for diverse and nuanced portrayals of heroes. Streaming platforms like Disney Plus have also jumped on the bandwagon, delivering high-quality content with series like WandaVision, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and Loki. These shows have not only expanded the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but also experimented with different genres and storytelling techniques, pushing the boundaries of what superhero TV shows can achieve. The rise of superhero TV shows has also been marked by increased representation and inclusivity. Series like Black Lightning, Batwoman, and Ms. Marvel have introduced diverse characters and stories, reflecting the growing demand for representation in media. These shows have provided a platform for underrepresented voices, resonating with audiences worldwide. As we witness the continued evolution of superhero TV shows, it is clear that they have become a staple of modern entertainment. They offer a unique blend of action, drama, and fantasy, allowing us to escape into extraordinary worlds while also exploring profound themes and emotions. The rise of superhero TV shows is a testament to the enduring appeal of these characters and the limitless possibilities of their stories. Comic book conventions, often known as comic cons, have become an integral part of the comic book culture. These events are much more than mere gatherings. They are vibrant celebrations of the art form, offering fans a unique opportunity to immerse themselves in the world of comics and beyond. The first official comic book convention took place in New York City in 1964, setting the stage for what would become a global phenomenon. Over the decades, Comic Cons have evolved from modest gatherings of enthusiasts to massive events attracting hundreds of thousands of attendees from around the world. San Diego Comic Con, arguably the most famous of these conventions, exemplifies this transformation. What began as a small event in 1970 has grown into a multi-day extravaganza, featuring panels with industry legends, exclusive previews of upcoming films and TV shows, and an expansive exhibition floor. For many fans, attending San Diego Comic Con is a pilgrimage, a chance to be part of a community that shares their passion. Comic Cons provide a platform for creators to showcase their work, often debuting new comics, artwork, and merchandise. They offer fans the chance to meet their favorite artists and writers, get autographs, and participate in Quanda sessions. This direct interaction fosters a deeper connection between creators and their audience, enriching the fan experience. One of the most iconic aspects of Comic Cons is cosplay. Fans spend months crafting intricate costumes, transforming themselves into beloved characters from comics, films, and TV shows. Cosplay contests at conventions celebrate creativity and craftsmanship, and the sight of fans dressed as their favorite heroes and villains adds a magical, immersive element to the events. Beyond the glitz and glamour, Comic Cons have a significant cultural impact. They serve as melting pots of ideas, where fans and creators can exchange perspectives and celebrate diversity. Conventions often feature panels and discussions on important social issues such as representation and inclusivity in media, making them platforms for meaningful dialogue and change. The sense of community at Comic Cons is palpable. These events bring together people from all walks of life, united by their love for comics and pop culture. Friendships are forged, collaborations are born, and for a few days, fans can escape the mundane and step into a world where their passions are celebrated and shared. As we look to the future, the impact of comic book conventions continues to grow. They have become cultural milestones, influencing trends in entertainment and media. For fans and creators alike, Comic Cons are a testament to the enduring power of comic books and the communities they inspire. As we stand on the cusp of a new era, the future of comic book adaptations promises to be more thrilling and innovative than ever before. With technology advancing at an unprecedented rate, the possibilities for bringing our favorite characters and stories to life are expanding beyond our wildest dreams. Virtual reality, VR, and augmented reality, AR, are set to revolutionize the way we experience comic book adaptations. Imagine stepping into the shoes of your favorite superhero, navigating through their world, and engaging in epic battles, all from the comfort of your living room. These immersive technologies will allow fans to dive deeper into the narrative, offering an unparalleled level of engagement and interactivity, but it doesn't stop there. The rise of artificial intelligence, AI, in filmmaking is opening new doors for creativity. AI can assist in generating realistic visual effects, creating lifelike characters, and even aiding in scriptwriting. This technology will enable filmmakers to push the boundaries of what's possible, crafting stories that are more intricate and visually stunning than ever before. Streaming platforms have already transformed the landscape of comic book adaptations, and their influence will only grow stronger. With the ability to release entire seasons at once, platforms like Netflix, Disney+, and Amazon Prime are allowing for more complex and nuanced storytelling. This binge-watching culture is fostering a deeper connection between fans and their favorite series. as they can consume content at their own pace and immerse themselves fully in the narrative. Furthermore, the globalization of media means that comic book adaptations are no longer confined to Western markets. We're seeing a surge in adaptations from diverse cultures, bringing fresh perspectives and unique storytelling techniques to the forefront. This diversity not only enriches the genre, but also broadens its appeal, making it accessible to a global audience. In addition to mainstream adaptations, there is a growing trend towards exploring lesser-known independent comics. These stories, often more experimental and bold, are finding their way to the screen, offering fans a refreshing break from traditional superhero narratives. This shift is encouraging a new wave of creativity and innovation within the industry. As we look ahead, one thing is certain: the future of comic book adaptations is bright. With the convergence of cutting-edge technology, diverse storytelling, and a passionate global fan base, we are on the brink of a new golden age. Whether it's through VR, AI, or streaming platforms, these adaptations will continue to captivate our imaginations and transport us to worlds where anything is possible. So gear up, comic book fans. The future is here, and it's more exciting than we could have ever imagined. As we journey through the rich history of comic books, one cannot overlook the pivotal role women have played in shaping this vibrant medium. From pioneering creators to iconic characters, the influence of women in comic books is both profound and transformative. In the early days of the comic book industry, women were often relegated to stereotypical roles, serving as sidekicks or love interests. However, as societal attitudes began to shift, so too did the representation of women in comics. The 1940s saw the introduction of Wonder Woman, a character who would become a symbol of strength, independence, and empowerment for generations of readers. Created by William Moulton Marston and artist H.G. Peter, Wonder Woman broke the mold, offering a powerful female hero who could stand toe-to-toe with her male counterparts. The 1970s and 1980s marked a significant turning point for women in comics, both on and off the page. This era witnessed the rise of influential female creators like Gail Simone, Louise Simonson, and Ann Nocenti, who brought a fresh perspective and nuanced storytelling to the industry. Their work not only showcased complex, multidimensional female characters, but also addressed important social issues, paving the way for a more inclusive and diverse comic book landscape. In recent years, the representation of women in comic books has continued to evolve, reflecting the changing dynamics of our society. Characters like Kamala Khan, Ms. Marvel, Jessica Jones, and the reimagined Batwoman have garnered widespread acclaim for their depth, relatability, and resilience. These heroines challenge traditional gender norms, offering readers a more authentic and empowering portrayal of women. Moreover, the rise of independent comics has provided a platform for diverse voices and stories that might not have found a place in mainstream publications. Creators like Marjorie Liu, Kelly Sue DeConnick, and Noelle Stevenson have pushed the boundaries of the medium, crafting stories that resonate with audiences of all backgrounds. Their work has not only enriched the genre, but also inspired a new generation of female readers and creators. The impact of women in comic books extends beyond the pages and into the broader cultural landscape. Female-led adaptations such as Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel have shattered box office records and demonstrated the commercial viability of stories centered on strong female protagonists. These films have inspired millions, proving that the demand for diverse and empowering narratives is stronger than ever. As we look to the future, the role of women in comic books will undoubtedly continue to expand and evolve. With a growing emphasis on inclusivity and representation, the industry is poised to embrace a wider array of voices and perspectives. This ongoing evolution not only enriches the medium, but also fosters a more inclusive and welcoming community for all fans. So here's to the women of comic books, the trailblazers, the creators, the characters, and the fans. Their contributions have shaped the medium in profound ways, and their legacy will continue to inspire and empower for generations to come. The world of comic books has always been a mirror to society, reflecting its values, struggles, and triumphs. As the medium has evolved, so too has its portrayal of diversity, offering a rich tapestry of characters that represent the myriad experiences of humanity. From race and ethnicity to sexual orientation and disability, the spectrum of diversity in comic book characters is broader and more inclusive than ever before. In the early days of comics, representation was sparse and often problematic. Characters of color were rare, and when they did appear, they were frequently depicted through the lens of harmful stereotypes. However, the civil rights movement of the 1960s began to shift this narrative. Marvel Comics introduced Black Panther in 1966, the first black superhero in mainstream American comics. Created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, Black Panther was more than just a character. He was a symbol of pride and empowerment for African American readers. The 1970s and 1980s saw a further push towards inclusivity. Characters like Storm of the X-Men, the first black female superhero in mainstream comics, and Shang-Chi, the master of Kung Fu, brought new dimensions to the superhero genre. These characters were not just sidekicks or supporting roles, they were central figures with complex stories and rich backgrounds. As society continued to progress, so did the comic book industry's commitment to diversity. The 1990s and early 2000s introduced characters like Miles Morales, an Afro-Latino teenager who takes up the mantle of Spider-Man, and Kamala Khan, a Pakistani-American Muslim teenager who becomes Miss Marvel. These characters resonated with readers from diverse backgrounds, offering them heroes who looked like them and shared their experiences. The representation of LGBTQ+ characters has also seen significant strides. Northstar, an openly gay superhero from Marvel's Alpha Flight, was one of the first LGBTQ+ characters in mainstream comics. In recent years, characters like Batwoman, Kate Kane, who is openly lesbian, and Iceman, who came out as gay, have further pushed the boundaries of representation. Their stories explore themes of identity, acceptance, and love, resonating deeply with readers. Disability representation has also found a place in the comic book world. Characters like Daredevil, who is blind, and Barbara Gordon, who becomes Oracle after being paralyzed, showcase the strength and resilience of individuals with disabilities. These characters are not defined by their disabilities but rather by their abilities, intelligence, and courage. The rise of independent comics has further enriched the landscape of diversity. Creators from various backgrounds have brought their unique perspectives to the medium, crafting stories that might not have found a place in mainstream publications. Works like The Wicked Plus the Divine by Kieran Gillen and Jamie McKelvey, which features a diverse cast of characters, and Bingo Love by T. Franklin, a touching love story between two African-American women, have pushed the boundaries of what comic books can be. As we look to the future, the commitment to diversity in comic books shows no signs of waning. With a growing emphasis on inclusivity and representation, the industry is poised to embrace an even wider array of voices and perspectives. This ongoing evolution not only enriches the medium but also fosters a more inclusive and welcoming community for all fans. In celebrating the spectrum of diversity in comic book characters, we acknowledge the power of stories to reflect our world and inspire change. These characters, with their unique experiences and perspectives, remind us that everyone deserves to see themselves as heroes. Throughout the history of comic books, one of the most dynamic elements has been the evolution of art styles. From the simplistic lines of early comics to the intricate and diverse styles of today, comic book art has undergone a remarkable transformation. The golden age of comics, spanning the late 1930s to the early 1950s, was characterized by bold, clear lines and bright primary colors. This era's art was straightforward and accessible, designed to capture the imagination of young readers. Artists like Jack Kirby and Joe Shuster set the standard with their iconic depictions of superheroes. As we moved into the Silver Age in the 1950s and 60s, the art became more sophisticated. Figures like Steve Ditko and Carmine Infantino introduced more dynamic compositions and innovative panel layouts. The characters' physicality and expressions became more nuanced, reflecting the era's growing narrative complexity. The Bronze Age of the 1970s saw an even greater shift. Artists like Neil Adams and John Byrne brought a sense of realism and detail that had not been seen before. Their work featured more realistic anatomy and intricate backgrounds, creating a more immersive experience for readers. The 1980s and 90s ushered in the modern age, where the art styles diversified significantly. This period saw the emergence of artists like Frank Miller and Todd McFarlane, who pushed the boundaries with their gritty, detailed, and often dark illustrations. The rise of digital coloring also added a new layer of depth and vibrancy to the artwork. The turn of the millennium brought further innovation. Artists like Alex Ross and Jim Lee became known for their hyper-realistic and highly detailed styles. The use of digital tools allowed for more experimentation with textures, lighting, and effects, creating a new level of visual storytelling. Today, comic book art is more varied than ever. From the minimalist and stylized work of artists like Mike Mignola to the lush, painterly approach of Fiona Staples, the range of styles reflects the diversity of stories being told. The global influence is also evident, with manga and European comic styles leaving a significant mark on the medium. In celebrating the evolution of comic book art styles, we acknowledge the artists' creativity and innovation that have shaped our visual experience of these stories. Their work not only brings characters to life but also enhances the narrative, making each comic a unique piece of art. As we look to the future, the possibilities for comic book art are limitless. With advances in technology and a growing appreciation for diverse artistic voices, the art of comic books will continue to evolve, captivating and inspiring readers for generations to come. In the grand tapestry of comic book history, certain storylines stand out as monumental, shaping not just the characters within them, but the very fabric of the medium itself. These narratives have transcended the pages to become cultural touchstones, celebrated by fans and critics alike. One of the most legendary story arcs is The Death of Superman. In 1992, DC Comics took a bold step by killing off their most iconic hero. The storyline captivated the world, making headlines and sparking debates about the nature of heroism and mortality. The saga of Superman's death and eventual resurrection remains a powerful testament to the character's enduring legacy. Marvel's The Dark Phoenix saga is another pivotal storyline. Written by Chris Claremont and illustrated by John Byrne, this 1980s epic follows Jean Grey's transformation into the Dark Phoenix. The storyline explores themes of power, corruption, and redemption, pushing the boundaries of what superhero comics could achieve emotionally and narratively. Batman: The Killing Joke, penned by Alan Moore with art by Brian Bolland, is a dark and controversial tale that delves into the Joker's origins and his twisted relationship with Batman. This 1988 graphic novel has been both praised and criticized for its mature themes, but it undeniably left an indelible mark on the Batman mythos. In the realm of crossover events, Crisis on Infinite Earths by Marv Wolfman and George Perez is a cornerstone. Published in 1985, this ambitious storyline sought to streamline the convoluted DC universe by merging multiple realities into one cohesive timeline. The series not only redefined the DC universe but also set the standard for future crossover events. Marvel's Civil War, written by Mark Millar with art by Steve McNiven, is a more contemporary classic. This 2006 storyline pits hero against hero in a battle over government registration of superhumans. The narrative's exploration of freedom versus security resonated deeply with readers, reflecting real-world political tensions. Another modern masterpiece is Saga by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. This ongoing series, which began in 2012, blends sci-fi and fantasy to tell the story of star-crossed lovers from warring races. Its rich world-building, complex characters, and unflinching exploration of social issues have earned it widespread acclaim and a devoted following. These iconic storylines have not only defined their respective characters, but have also pushed the boundaries of what comic books can achieve as a medium. They have inspired countless adaptations, from animated series to blockbuster films, ensuring that their impact will be felt for generations to come. As we celebrate these monumental narratives, we also look forward to the future, eager to see what new stories will capture our imaginations and redefine the landscape of comic books. The digital age has ushered in a transformative era for the comic book industry, redefining how stories are created, distributed, and consumed. Digital comics have broken down barriers, making it easier than ever for readers to access their favorite tales with just a few taps on a screen. One of the most significant impacts of digital comics is their accessibility. No longer confined to physical stores, readers can now dive into vast libraries of comics from the comfort of their homes. This has democratized the medium, allowing independent creators to reach global audiences without the need for traditional publishing routes. Platforms like Webtoon, Comixology, and Tapas have become incubators for fresh talent, showcasing diverse voices and innovative storytelling techniques. Digital comics also offer a unique reading experience. Enhanced with interactive elements, motion graphics, and sound effects, they can immerse readers in ways traditional print cannot. The advent of guided view technology, which directs readers panel by panel, has made it easier for newcomers to navigate the sometimes complex layouts of comic pages. The shift to digital has also had environmental benefits, reducing the need for paper and the carbon footprint associated with physical distribution. This aligns with the growing awareness and importance of sustainability in the modern world. However, the digital revolution is not without its challenges. The tactile pleasure of holding a comic book, the smell of the paper, and the joy of collecting physical copies are aspects that digital cannot replicate. Additionally, the industry has had to navigate issues of piracy and copyright infringement, which have become more prevalent with the ease of online distribution. Despite these challenges, the digital comics revolution has undeniably expanded the horizons of the medium. It has opened up new avenues for storytelling, fostered a more inclusive community, and ensured that comic books remain a vibrant and evolving art form in the 21st century. As we look to the future, it's clear that digital comics will continue to play a pivotal role in the industry, pushing the boundaries of creativity and accessibility. The fusion of technology and storytelling promises to bring us even more captivating and innovative narratives, ensuring that the magic of comics endures for generations to come.